You would agree that there does need to be a deal on healthcare, that healthcare costs are too high.
Well, I think that if you look at the Affordable Care Act, these premiums weren't made permanent by the Democrats during the COVID emergency because they were worried about the budgetary costs. And so if you look at the premium increases, they don't affect most people below like 2 times the poverty line, 3 times the poverty line. But there are a lot of senior citizens that are above like around 4 times the poverty level, which with a husband and wife team would be about 120,000, that are seeing really big premium increases. And I think that everybody's going to want to think about what the next step for that would be, because people are seeing again, most people aren't seeing much of an increase at all, but the maximum increases you're seeing could be up to about $500 a month for seniors who have really costly plans.
The president has also been talking about affordability. And our CBS polling shows the president's approval rating in the economy has dipped to 38%, the lowest of this term. 75% of those polled say he's not focusing enough on lowering prices. But the president said this week Democrats are making it up and, quote, every price is down. I'm sure you know the Consumer Price Index showed grocery prices are up nearly 3% in September from a year ago.
Do
you dispute that?
Well, let's go through the facts, right? So inflation went up about 5% under President Biden. In President Trump's first 8-9 months, depending when we get the last number, it's up 2.7%. One of the big things that's hurting affordability is mortgages. The interest rate went up by about 4%. No, grocery prices are actually down significantly under Trump. But here's the thing.
It depends on which.
Let me. I just make a point. If you look at the real reduction in spending power for Americans under Joe Biden, then it went down about $3,000 because we had up to 9% inflation, and then they went to the grocery store. They couldn't buy the things they were used to buying. The real spending power, adjusted for inflation under President Trump, has gone up about $1,200 so far this year. $1,200 is not $3,000. And so people are right to feel stretched, but we're making progress. And if you look at all the things, the positive things about the economy, industrial production just about at an all-time high, capital spending about at an all-time high, GDP growth right now about 4%, then that shows that the income growth that we need to get it more affordability is on the path to happening. And the bottom line is that the last Consumer Price Index surprised down. It was lower than expected. And it was actually would have even been lower than that because there was a refinery shutdown that caused it to go slightly higher. So we see inflation under control and the economy booming, but we understand 100% why people are still hurting because we haven't made up all the room that was lost under Joe Biden.
So are you comfortable with 3% inflation?
I'm comfortable with 2% inflation.
So no, you're not happy where things are now.
Well, they're got to go down a little bit more, but the point is that inflation is like the Queen Mary, my friend Alan Greenspan used to say. And so when you go from the almost 4% that we had in January down to the mid-2s, then that's a trajectory that usually has momentum.
So the St. Louis Fed found tariffs account for half